you have a peer, they're calling this their peer programming, PEER, which essentially is you have someone who is there kind of as an agent, guiding you along, assisting you on things like completing your structures, completing some of your algorithms that you might have, right? Recommending certain things. So they are going above and beyond to the next level to show you what it looks like. Right?
Agentic web is really what they're pushing. Like I said, we'll dive deeper, but there's just so much to cover with all of these events that happen. But I would say Microsoft Build, they did kick off the week pretty solid with
Been into Microsoft and their build, they're integrating with MCP, so that's really going to help a lot of their operating systems with certain applications. But even with their build and going into the coding piece, like it's great for the users. It's also great for developers. A bit of Google I/O, right? One of my favorites, of course, and I'm just going to throw it out there, is the Android XR. That's probably the most exciting thing for me coming out of Google I/O.
They just consistently have been cooking lately. I mean, one of the biggest things, and we might as well just talk about it right up front. It was their new Ultra AI plan that they have. Where I think it's $249 a month for the Ultra AI, which you get VO3. So they made an announcement. So they went from their video generation model, which was already pretty much king. I mean, it was very solid, very coherent, and all those other things. And now they have VO3, which natively implements sound. So like it'll create a video and it has like the sounds that go with the video, like implemented, and it's just been a game changer.
Yeah, so VO3 definitely miles ahead. It's looking really cool, right? VO2 we thought was really state of the art. Now VO3 model is out, and I think the capabilities are insane. And I still am completely doubling down again on the double down that I had before. We're having a full feature blockbuster movie by the end of this year, made completely of AI. Because if with VO3 coming out and some of the other models that have come out, but just this alone, man, there's so many cool things you can capture, cool things you can create with VO or VEO. I'm not sure exactly the correct pronunciation,
No,
but
I think everybody was saying VO.
VO,
So
but
yeah, they were saying
listen, VO3, it is insane, light years ahead, right? And I think Google is really they're shining bright this week.
I mean,
They're
yeah.
they're
And
really
they
shining
mentioned
bright.
on the
They were geniuses in the marketing. I'll say this, right? OpenAI is in Sam Altman and Johnny Ive have announced a partnership which is which entails, I'm sorry, a 6.5 billion acquisition of Johnny Ive's company IO, which is a hardware AI hardware startup, and their announcement really entailed a whole lot and a whole lot of nothing. But essentially, we have hardware pieces coming out from OpenAI, which is crazy when you think about it, right? Game-changing events the day after Google I/O's huge monumental announcements. OpenAI drops this teaser video with Johnny Ive. And when I tell you, for me, I don't know what to say because all I can think about is home assistants that have your chat GPT on it, right? You know how you have your Google at home, your Google Nest, all those things. Now we have OpenAI versions because this hardware, like I said, $6.5 billion acquisition is nothing to sneeze at. That's nothing to sneeze at all, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think, and that's why I highlighted here because it says computers are now seeing, and it's interesting because what people are speculating on across X and in the socials is that it's definitely going to be wearables, and we think it'll be like something you can put on, you can see through.
I
We
think it's
think
gonna
it's
be.
going to be
I
like
think it's. Listen, I think it's gonna be wearables, screens, speakers,
I
anything.
mean, it's
Right?
definitely so. We all know, of course, it's going to be wearables. What I mean to say is, I think it'll be glasses of some sort. That's what I think
Right.
because that's why I highlight computers are now seeing. So imagine, like, so basically, so if Google, we just talked about Google XR or Android XR, and then we have Meta Ray-Ban. So I think this will be OpenAI's kind of step in that direction to get them a hardware product that you can have OpenAI with you at all times, which is really cool because I mean, like, you can look at something and kind of converse with it, and they've already done such a great job with voice model, right? I mean, like with having that go back and forth and everything. So I think, yeah, this is definitely going to be their foray into a market segment.
Oh yeah. No,
And
this
I
is
mean,
like I
I'm sure
said.
that they said they're working on a few products. So just, I'll be
That's what
remiss
I'm
not to
saying. Like
mention that. So
a few
it's going to be a
products
suite
that
of products. I know glasses are going to be a part of those. I bet money on.
when Apple decided to get into that realm, right, of the home speakers and right and everything, they were already so far behind Amazon with the Echo and Google with the Nest. Did it really hit like it should have, right? Man, honestly, I think it's a smart pivot for them just because they got, I mean, Anthropic, of course, the fathers of the MCP. So they really have a piece of AI, the AI pie, so to speak, right? And I think they got to, making this pivot and shift now really solidifies where they want to be. And if it's completely agentic, that is a great position for them to be, right? Because look, they see a void, and I think also from a business perspective, right? They know their strengths. They've seen what OpenAI is doing. I don't think it's fair for them to continue to compete where they don't have that power. That's just my 2 cents on that. But no, I like this move for them.
Hey, I do like this move from only thing I was saying. Some people actually prefer the
No,
Claude series of
absolutely.
models. Yeah, like I mean, the creative writing, like because early in the days, like when they and I forget which version of Claude that it was, like it was actually really creative. I think at one point more creative than OpenAI at a certain point, and they go back and forth. So, but I guess I can see where they see themselves fitting in, and it makes sense because they really what they spoke about was their long running tasks and their agent workflows and everything like that. I really think they're trying to get into their and the coding is one thing because remember Claude
Yeah,
3.7 Sonnet or
the
whatever.
coding is
Yeah,
cute. And
coding was like their
also
thing.
the
So
Claude the Claude Code SDK is
yeah,
out
yeah,
too.
yeah. So the 2.5 Pro model, of course, Google was on the Ellen board, at least, the leadership board. I mean, they have currently, I think they have the leadership position, but I guess with the benchmarks or whatever that Cloud for Opus, their model, so that might take the cake there. But either way, I mean, like I know for a long time, Anthropic has been like coding king, so I think they're battling that out with Gemini, with Google and Gemini and their suite of models and everything else. But either way, I mean, like it's just a lot that's going on. I think it's a smart move for them, so I do agree with
I
them,
didn't
like
think
to
it's a
kind of
great move.
find their space in there and
You got
kind
to
of
find your
pivot a little
niche,
bit.
right? And I mean, pivoting is great, especially pivoting early. Nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love this move for them as a company. Great look. Like I said, they have a lot going for them with some of their models. The code is definitely perfect. MCP is right now their niche. As a business, they're going to profit well off of that, in my opinion. So